Maryland is now 1 month in on the new juvenile justice laws. The new laws focus on consequences for 10 to 13-year-olds who commit crimes. Joining us now from a legal standpoint, defense attorney with Eldridge Crandell Law, Jeremy Eldridge. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Just 1 month into it, 30 days we're talking about here, these new juvenile crime laws. Is it too soon to realize kind of what it's changed or its effect on, the violence with juveniles in Baltimore?
You're correct, Tom, and that's a great question. I think it's a little too early to discern whether that new law will have a concrete impact, but I think you can read some tea leaves here. I do think that you can see some interesting data and see the importance of the new law with the 70 arrests with the last month, especially with the arrests of carjackers, potential carjackers at the ages of 10 and 12, auto theft offenders. So if we're already seeing arrests at that age for what would be considered violent crimes and robberies and carjackings, there's an impact. We're just going to have to see how much that impact will be over time.
Jeremy, you were critical of the, the lack of education for police departments before, when they were saying we can't touch anybody under the age of 13 no matter what they do. Other people, we've also had some Maryland delegates that have said, no, you can. Now we're starting to see a little bit more clearly, okay, well, if you do commit your first offense and you're 10 to 12 years old, you could get an ankle monitor, but you won't be detained unless you do a second violent act.
You're 100% right. The first thing is everyone has to be on the same page, not just about what the law is, but about its implementation. We saw that for years under Marilyn Mosby, where Marilyn Mosby wasn't prosecuting marijuana and the police department was confused. Right now, it's up to the Office of the State's Attorney for Baltimore City, the police department, and the mayor's office. And the mayor's office really is the one who hasn't been on the same page. And if they're going to target juvenile crime and make sure that we're getting these young offenders, frankly, the services they need to avoid recidivism, everyone has to be on the same page about how these cases are handled, whether the state's attorney's office is the ultimate authority, which they are now under the law, and they have to respect that authority moving forward.
Jeremy, what about SINS petitions? I mean, child in need of supervision. You hear from a lot of parents who say, just take my child, he's not listening to me, do something with him, teach him something because I can't keep him at house. Will this SINS petition actually help that?
I think it will. Dating back to the death of Baltimore County police officer Amy Caprio, I think a lot of people don't remember this isn't a new problem. The mother of that offender was in the courtroom begging the circuit court judge to take her child into custody, saying he was out of control, saying that she couldn't do anything to basically stop him from committing crime and being at home. And while this doesn't happen often, when you have the mother of a child pleading in a courtroom, that's what these petitions are meant to help with, which is when we need the government to step in and to help the family, because it's really easy for members of the community to just blame the parents and say they're not doing anything. And sometimes it's frankly just the child's actions, and the parents need help too. That's what these petitions can help with.
Yeah, and I think that driver was also on an ankle monitor at the time when he ran over that officer. Jeremy, so then how long do we need to wait until we see, okay, these laws are doing something or they're really not changing anything?
We're certainly going to see better markers at 6 months, but if we're going to do actual performance measurement, we really need a year. I think that we're already seeing, with the uptick in offender supervision and offender arrest with some of these carjacking arrests, we've already seen a positive change. But to realize that full impact and be able to garner what's working, what's not working, especially with the ankle monitor implementation, we need a full year of measurement to make better decisions and then to tweak the process from there.
With Eldridge Crandell Law, Jeremy Eldridge, always great to have your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.